Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the parting glass at our event here, where we have Larry Sharpe and Dave Sershin here to speak. We love having them. We're welcoming him. And quite frankly, we need them now more than ever, because New York is, quite frankly, becoming a human grease fire. That said, I would like to welcome all of you, and please know that we have food available for all of you. Please help yourselves. Please help yourselves. Welcome again.
So this can just clip on. Oh, you got a big beard, so
yes, it's going to be a little bit difficult. I have hair. I'm kind of like you.
I used to have hair like you. I look like you, just in a smaller form. Hang on.
Right at this point, it's just a flex at my age to be able to do it.
So we'll keep that away, and then just clip it on your pocket.
Oh, okay. Oop, sorry, let me open this up.
You gotta step over to you're good there. Yep.
Good evening, friends. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the Saratoga Libertarian Committee for asking me to talk here. It's been a long 2 years, and my name is Dave Sershin, and I stand before you tonight not as a politician, not as an activist, but just as an ordinary New Yorker who discovered firsthand what happens when government power goes too far.
Yes.
My family and I live in Middle Grove in the town of Greenfield. We raise our kids, our dogs, and a few chickens on a quiet dirt road. We pay our taxes, follow the law, and mind our own business. But over the past 2 years, we've been targeted, harassed, and retaliated against by the very officials who swore to serve us. It started with a simple visit from town officials, a so-called inspection. Without a warrant, they came onto our property, ignored my repeated demands to stay off, and took photos. They claimed we had 30 unkept dogs, illegal livestock, and even an unpermitted generator. They were all lies. We later proved our small home-based dog breeding program was fully lawful under state law. But instead of admitting their mistake, the town doubled down on us. They filed false reports to state agencies, withheld public records we legally requested under New York's Freedom of Information law, and even blocked me from the town's official Facebook page because I dared to speak out against what they've been doing. Then came the threats. A town employee tried to file criminal charges against me for posting publicly available information. Another warned I'd enjoy a citation for my generator. All this while one official's wife, a town court judge, presided over tickets issued by departments she helped oversee. My wife, Shayla, and I watched the government of our small town weaponize its power against us, not because we broke the law, but because we challenged it. This isn't just about Greenfield. It's about what happens when government forgets who it serves. Our founders warned us, unchecked power always grows. When local officials believe they can silence you, search your property without cause, or threaten your livelihood for speaking out, that's not community, quote unquote, community management. That's tyranny in a smaller office.
Yes.
What happens to us could happen to anyone who questions authority, whether it's a building inspector, a code officer, or a governor's executive order. Our rights mean nothing unless we defend them.
Woo!
Thank you. We've seen overreach at every level, from Albany mandates that cripple small businesses to local bureaucrats who treat citizens as subjects instead of neighbors. And it won't stop until ordinary people like you and me, say enough. That's why I'm standing here before the Libertarian Party, because you understand what so many have forgotten. Freedom is not granted by government, it's protected from it. You believe that government should be limited, transparent, and answerable to the people, not the other way around. You know that power should be local, accountable, and small. That laws should protect property, privacy, and free expression, not be used to weaponize against them. Sorry. Our family's fight isn't just personal anymore. It's part of a larger fight for liberty in New York. If this can happen in a small town, imagine what happens in the bigger governments with bigger budgets and fewer eyes watching. Tonight, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not asking for solidarity. Stand with us for every family that's ever been intimidated, silenced, or surveilled by their own government. To a libertarian candidate for governor and to everyone here, make this moment about the real people who live the consequences of bad government. We don't need more regulations, more agencies, and more quote unquote programs. We need leaders with the courage to say the Constitution still matters. Property still matters. Transparency still matters. Because when government crosses the line, liberty is the first casualty. Let's draw that line again, firmly, clearly, and together. Thank you for your time. Thanks for having me.
Nicely done.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
First time I'm down to this real often, so I was a little nervous. Oops, sorry.
Try not to get the beard.
I appreciate it.
So those of you who are online who saw that, you're like, well, what is he doing? I'm swapping out mics. That's how that works, guys. This is live. You guys know that when I do these all the time. This is almost, 700 or so times that I've come out and talked to people throughout this state. I do it constantly. You're saying, Larry, but we came in to watch you. Why did this other dude talk? Because that other dude mattered. What that guy was talking about is happening to many of us, every place across this state. And he's right. You've heard me say this before. I say it all the time. The best way that government can be, what state government is supposed to be, it's supposed to protect your rights against the local bully. There will be local bullies. I wish they would go away, but they're not going to. They're going to exist. And the state government should be, when you have that local bully, you call the state government and they go, no, local bully, I'm going to protect the rights of these individuals against you. That's what's supposed to happen. Sadly, right now, what do we have? A system to where the state government is the local bully. State government supports local bully. The local bully is the arm of the state government. They are hand in hand. And that's the problem. Sadly, in our state, many times we see this. The Bill of Rights is the Bill of Suggestions. And it's embarrassing, but often true. And what is the punishment for people who decide to not do that? The people who decide to ignore that? Usually nothing.
A promotion.
Often a promotion, yes, absolutely. They are literally rewarded for their loyalty to the individual or to the party, but not to the Constitution. That's where they're rewarded. We have to change that. You might go, but Larry, why are you going to change that? Here is the reason why. Because I've been hammered by the government too, just like all the rest of you. So I remember how it is. So it's personal for me. Yes, it is. I've watched it happen so many times that I want to stop it. But Larry said, why don't you just run as a Democrat or Republican? Because they're the problem. Literally the problem. They are the issue. They are what is stopping this. They are what's making things worse. They're not our allies. How do I know that? If you are in this room right now, many in this room right now, please tell me, any of you, what is the Republican answer to solve this? Silence. I didn't plan that. Silence. There is none. Here is what, those of you know, the Republicans now have put up a candidate for governor. They have. I guess that's good. I don't know. Anyway, here, let me give you, if I could, here is her plan for all of you. For any question you ask her. Hochul is bad. More cops. Done. That is her entire platform. Well, that's okay, because Hochul will save us. Okay, great. Here's her platform. I'm going to say it again. Yeah, the cops won't actually help you. They just give up more tickets. True. Correct. Yes. And the cops won't help you. So yes, more cops who won't help you, who will just be more, what cops don't want to be, by the way, revenue generators. If you ask law enforcement, they do not want to be revenue generators. They want to go get bad guys. I know my father was in law enforcement. I know that. They don't want to be revenue generators. But that's what, remember, Kathy Hochul said, Pat Hochul doesn't say more cops. She says more money. So Hochul says Trump is bad, more money. Stefanik says Hochul's bad, more cops for more revenue generation. So again, more money. I'm the only guy talking about actually making things better. Now, I'll give you one idea I spoke about. I brought this idea up years ago, but it still comes back. Imagine if you are a local farmer or local business owner, and I decided to let you know, if you decide to sell only within New York State, you are immune from all federal regulatory bodies. You might go, huh, what's that do? That's going to give the little guy a chance against the big boys. Right? So you only have one issue. You only have state regulations and nothing else. But more importantly, what if the state has very few regulations? So now the county does. Okay. Those regulations that will be put on you will be different in Allegheny County versus Rensselaer County versus Brooklyn. They're different. No worries. But the problem is, are your rights violated? So the state now, instead of trying to come up with more rules and regulations to punish you, the state will instead make sure that county rules aren't crushing your rights. And sadly, you wouldn't be able to speak here right now, which I guess actually is a good thing, right? If that had actually happened, if we actually had that type of government, you would be off enjoying your chickens right now. That's what you'd be doing. Yes, which is what we should be doing. Now you might go, but Larry, I don't live in this county or that county. I don't care about chickens. Good, but why do you care about his chickens? I talk about localism all the time, and I mean it. Why do I travel all of the counties every single year? Why am I in every single county? Most of you here have seen me before because I've been in your county before. Not all of you. Some of you haven't. Some of you are new. But some of you aren't. I've seen you before because I come back to these counties again and again and again. Here's the reason why. I have to hear you so that I can know what makes the most sense. Otherwise, what will I do? I'll go to Albany and I'll decide, oh, I know better, so let me make rules because I know how many chickens you should have and I know how many acres those chickens should be on because I'm smart and people voted for me, so now I know better. Or I could say, how about I leave you alone? How about I let you do what you need to do, let local people pick local things, and as long as nobody's violating someone's rights, I leave you be. Note, what happens all the time in this state. There's a problem. What does government do? New law, new rule, more money, something like that. At no point is it more freedom. That's not even part of the plan. That's not even being talked about, more freedom. But Larry, how can more freedom work? Well, imagine this. I'll give you a second idea. Imagine if you owe the state money at the end of the year. You owe them money from fines or fees or taxes or whatever. Maybe you forgot to pay your taxes. Whatever, you owe the state money at the end of the year. You can take $250 of those dollars you owe them, and instead of giving it back to the government, you can give it to a local nonprofit that's not government funded. If it's in your county, it's doubled to $500. Wait a minute.
Who will buy the politicians' lunch?
That's correct. Who will buy the politicians' money? You're right.
You're talking crazy now.
I am actually saying that the money might want to stay in your own county, that you might get to decide how things can work. You might be able to create secondary systems within your own county. Maybe your county decides, or because the governor decides, that they don't need to fix potholes in your county. Your town doesn't need potholes to be fixed. You're good. These other people are a priority. Maybe they decide that. So you decide, hey, you know what? I can fix potholes. I want to fix the potholes in my county. It makes sense to me. That's what we need in our county. Okay, great. Guys, give me your $250 or $500 and I'll go do it. 1,000 people do it. 10,000 people do it. I have a business now. Now I go out and I fix the potholes. What if I'm really bad at the pothole fixing? What happens then? Next year you go, Larry, you suck. You lied to us. You don't get money. Sorry. The market, the community, punishes me for failure. But instead, now I'm a politician. I go, no. We're not going to take the money. I'm going to make a new policy. I'm going to start a new secondary important road construction program or whatever I come up with. I'm going to grab a bunch of your taxpayer dollars. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to give it to my friend who happens to own a couple trucks and gives me money. My friend goes off and goes to fix potholes, and he sucks worse than me. Well, he gives me lots of money. I said that already. Yeah, that's the kickback part. Yes. So he's terrible. So he's bad. He cannot fix potholes well at all. What happens to him if he's a government program? More money. Correct. More money. More funding. So when my program fails, the reward is more money. But in what I just told you, my idea, if there's failure, they lose money. You can actually make things happen. But not just that, locally. So maybe I decided to be pothole. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe you require more childcare. Maybe you require, better. Maybe you require better elderly care. Maybe you require that. Well, I'm going to start a private one. With what money? With your $250 or your $500. Now, what if I'm bad at it? I don't take care of kids well at all. I'm not good to the elderly people I take care of. You don't give me the money. But what if I start a program and I'm bad at it? I get more money. Do you see how the system keeps making things bad? It rewards bad behavior. It rewards failure. It rewards loyalty and failure. Every time you add government, you remove community. The way we get the best result is more community. To your point, my brother, more localism. More localism. I live in New York City. I have people who live in Brooklyn. And I've heard people tell me Brooklyn's a blood type because they love Brooklyn. Awesome. I'm not mad at you for loving Brooklyn. Love Brooklyn. Live in Brooklyn. Love Brooklyn. Enjoy it. But why are you going to force Saratoga to be like Brooklyn? Why are you going to force Washington County to be Brooklyn? Don't do that. Let Washington County be Washington County. I heard somebody tell me that there's more cows in Washington County than there are people. I know who told me that. Brian, who told me that? I think that was you. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. And that's good. Enjoy that. That's the lifestyle you want. Please enjoy your lifestyle. Here's what people don't get. You hear it all the time. She's a queen. He's a king. They're taking over. Authoritarian this, authoritarian that. You know what kind of people don't ask for authoritarianism? Happy people. Happy people don't ask for socialism. Happy people don't ask for fascism. Happy people don't ask for authoritarianism. Happy people ask for freedom. That's what they do. That's why in our founding documents, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's in our founding documents. The old school guys knew that back in the day. They knew that was important. It was important then. It's important now. I would ask you, who's running for office, have you heard talk about happiness? It's only me. No one else does. Our current governor says all the time, it's my right to keep New Yorkers safe. Her words, not mine. I will not give up my right to keep New Yorkers safe. Number one, not your right. Number one, not your right. Number two, not your job. Not your right, not your job. She made that up. And number three, if that's her job, she's doing a terrible job of it. So I wouldn't take that job if you didn't give it to me. Why would I even take that job? So number one, not your right. Number two, not your job. Number three, you suck at it. All three bad. If I was her, I'd say it's my right to take all your money. That's true, and she's good at that. So I guess that's fine. But if it's not that, why would she say that? See, Michael, that's okay, Larry, because Elise Stefanik is running, and she's going to save us. Okay, what has she said? More cops. Hochul bad. But here's the most important piece. Some of you out there might be saying, but Larry, you don't understand. It's important that we support her because she can beat Hochul. You guys probably saw that last poll recently, right? Showed she's winning. New York City just elected a Democratic socialist, and the Republican got less than 10% of the vote. Sorry, kept doing some ice. Yes. So with that in mind, you're telling me that all of a sudden somehow Stefanik's going to win? This is the year for Stefanik to win? When the Republican now in New York City was literally the spoiler. Let me say it again. The Republican was the spoiler, not the independent candidate. The Republican was. This is the year of the independent. Woo! This is the year, no doubt. This is the year. This is our time. This is our chance. The Republicans now in this state are so broken that they are the spoilers now. And I'm not making that up. You just saw it. So in the number one city in our state, New York, the biggest one, the Republican couldn't break 10%. In our second largest city, Buffalo, the Republican barely broke 20%. There are more independents in this state than there are Republicans. Republicans are a third party. Yet they will still tell you they're going to win. They cannot win. It is impossible. The numbers aren't here. 300,000 New Yorkers leave this state every single year. Most of them would not be voting for Kathy Hochul. If they like Kathy Hochul, they wouldn't be leaving. They'd be staying because they like her. They obviously don't. They're leaving in droves. Like there's no, you all know people who've left, or know people who are thinking, or you're thinking of leaving. You all know it. This is the number one issue. Is that the number one issue of Kathy Hochul or Lee Stefanik? No. It's stopping and protecting you from the other. It is fear mongering. They're not saying we're going to keep you here. They're not explaining how they're going to keep you here. What's the hope to keep you here? No. The answer is, other guy bad, be afraid, I will save you. That mentality has watched this state decay for the past 25, 30 years. That mentality has watched this state decay. This beautiful, wonderful state is decaying. And if you're watching online, you might go, Larry, that sounds good, but I don't live in New York. Why do I care? Because what happens here comes to you. That's why. What happens here comes to you. You should care. Now think about this. Mom Donnie just won in New York City. Think what happened. I was talking about it. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Blah, blah. Big deal, obviously. Imagine if Larry Sharpe becomes governor next year. Literally changes the entire nation overnight. There's no hubris in that. There is no hyperbole in that. That's true. Changes the entire country overnight. Everything changes. Oh my God, New York is not blue. Now it's gold. Oh my God. Well, Larry, we're going to turn the state red. It's almost 3-1 Democrat to Republican now. At least Stefanik is tied directly to Trump. And you might go, well, Larry, don't Republicans like Trump? True. Most Republicans do. That's true. If you're a Republican, you probably like Trump. True. There's not enough Republicans. Of all the registered voters, they're less than 25% of registered voters. 23%. Thank 23. Less than 25 is correct. 23%. They are 23% of registered voters. How are you going to win with 23% of registered voters? You cannot. So yes, you're right. You say, well, Republicans like Trump. True. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're correct. They do. There's not enough of them. It is impossible. The numbers are just not there. No chance at all. Well, Larry, how about you? There aren't enough libertarians to say true also. But have you seen the recent polls? The same one Manhattan Institute just put out? They had a category called other and one called undecided. Undecided people who didn't know. Other was another candidate. That candidate got between 8 and 9% depending on how they did it. Who else is running? Oh, only me. So who is other? The other is this guy right here. And what color did they use? Gold. Interesting color choice they used. They used the color gold and had other. That was me. 8, 9%. What independent candidate ever starts a campaign at 8%? No candidate does. And for those who've been following me since 2018, I was polling around 3%, give or take in that area. 2022, I was polling at 6. Now I'm polling at 9 and I haven't even started yet. I'm on the rise because independents are on the rise. People know me. Look who came today. Stefanik announced and you're here. Right? Stefanik announced and you're here. This is an example of what I'm talking about. You see it. It's happening. People know the system isn't working. New York City is the example. Democrats knew the system isn't working. It's failing them. I know I live in New York City. It's failing. Absolutely. So, of course, they voted Republican. No, they voted DSA. So even when the system is failing, Democrats will not vote Republican. They would rather vote socialist. I want you to imagine that. You're going to tell me this state's going to vote Stefanik? Are you high? Do you not have eyes? Can you not see what's happening? It is a fantasy. It's never going to happen. It is imaginary thinking. Again, they voted for a socialist over, and I happen to know Curtis Sliwa, and I like Curtis Sliwa. He's a friend of mine. I like him. He's a good guy. Less than 10%. And I'll go one step further. His own Republican GOP of New York State GOP, and the New York State GOP told its own voters to vote for Cuomo. Let me repeat that again. The New York GOP man who said state at all. He said those words, not me. Sliwa got Sliwa. And you think that Stefanik is going to somehow win? I'm asking you to use your own eyes. Use your own eyes. But Larry, how can you raise as much money as she has? That's a valid point. She has tons of money. That's true. So does Hochul. That's true. You're right. But I can, because what we have now is called matching funds in New York State. In New York State right now, what happened? Oh, sorry. We're swapping out mics, guys. Excuse me. No worries. I got a hurricane on my mic. No, it's not. Okay. Sorry. This is live, guys. We're having to do stuff live. That's how it works. Since I'm here, let me bring this piece up. I would ask you, you look at Hochul and Stefanik, how many of them would come to a locally owned place like this and have a chat with just anybody who shows up? They would never do it. They would never. Yet I've done this hundreds of times, again and again and again. And I do it live every time. And I record it whenever I can, live every time. Why? Because I want you to know what I'm telling you now is the same thing I would tell anybody else. What I'm telling you now is now public. You will see it. I'm not going to be, oh, in this room, I'm going to tell you this. But then in this room, I'm going to tell you that. Oh, but I'm going to tell you this in some other room. No, this is what I say all the time. People who meet me say, that's the same guy I saw online. It's the same guy I saw. It's the same guy. There is no way I can get you to trust me if I don't trust you. That's why I'm talking to you. That's why I'm out here. So let me move on if I could. Where was I talking about? I was talking about matching funds. Thank you. So how can I raise that money? In New York State, if I'm able to get 5,000 New Yorkers to give me a total of $500,000, New York State will give me $3 million. That's how it works. They match 6-1. With $3 million, this is a winnable race. Done. Winnable race. But Larry, they'll raise more. That's not how this game is played. And again, every time I tell you something, I give you an example. I don't just talk trash. I give you an example. It doesn't matter if you raise the most money. That isn't the key. The key is you raise enough to be in the game. How do I know that? New York City. What happened just this year? New York City doesn't have 6-1. It has 8-1. How did Mamdani win? He only raised about $1 million. Well, what's times 8? $8 million. New York City gave him $8 million. I'm not joking. Do your homework. That actually happened. Give $8 million. There were 3 people who were playing in that game. Him, a guy named Brad Lander, who you probably don't know unless you're in New York City, but he was also another player, and Cuomo. Him and Brad Lander raised $1 million. They got $8 million from New York City. Cuomo raised $20 million and still lost. He raised double and lost. That's the point. You don't have to raise the most money. You have to be in the game. Lander was number 3. Those of you wouldn't know that because he wasn't popular. He was number 3. He dropped out and then backed Mamdani. So 3 people were in the game because they raised the amount of money to get matching funds. Once you get matching funds, you're in the game. Now, if you have a good campaign, you can win. Mamdani is proof of that. What I'm telling you always, once I get matching funds, I'm in the game.
You don't have to get the signatures to be.
I still will, but it won't matter. Okay. That's my point. It won't matter. Once we have matching funds, we're in this game. And when we're in this game, they got to pay attention to me. When they have to pay attention to me, now they're in trouble. Because every single time you've seen me on the debate stage, every single time you see me take questions, I actually answer the question. Every single time. They will not. They never do. Every time you ask me what's going on, I tell you what's going on. I give you details. I tell you why and how. I give you actual answers. Why did Mamdani win? Because he was charismatic? He was. But so's Cuomo. They're charismatic. He was. So's Cuomo. Because when you asked Mamdani a question, he gave you an answer. Now, I didn't like his answer.
He's got that smile.
He does have a nice smile too. Yes, he does. But here's the reality. When people are struggling and you give them a no answer or a bad answer, they take the bad answer. It is simply human nature. And Mamdani said, I got answers. Cuomo said, he's bad and dumb and I'm a king. And they went, that's not an answer. Mamdani had answers. Free buses, that's an answer. How you going to get them? Shh. Free buses. Who's going to pay for it? Shh. Free buses. He had free buses. That was an answer. People said, okay, I'll take an answer. True story. Talking to somebody recently, my daughter actually, talking to somebody recently, told me a story about somebody who said, aren't you happy that Mamdani won? And she was like, not really, whatever. And the guy says, no, he won, it's great. And well, why? Well, he cares about us, so he's going to lower our taxes. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Yes, I know you're laughing. No. But why would he say that? Why would some guy say that?
He doesn't know what he doesn't know.
Correct. Because he doesn't know. What he knows is this guy is good and is going to help me. Therefore, he's going to do whatever I think is good. That's as simple as that. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. That happens often. If we have answers, people will pay attention. If we have answers, people will listen. If we have answers, they will vote for us. If they vote for us, we can win and change this state. That's how this can work. This is a winnable race. It can be done with good policies, with help. So for those of you online, those of you here, I'm going to ask the same thing as I always do. I need three things really from you. Here's the simplest thing I need from you. I need legitimacy, like there's no tomorrow. People have to see me as real. To see me as real. How do we do that? If you see any of my stuff online, whether you're on Twitter or whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, whatever, please click that like button, that share button, put something in there, put a quote there. Say, hey, Larry Sharpe, how you doing? I don't care, whatever. Engagement matters. It makes me real. People are paying attention. Please help me with that. If you're online watching or here, please do so. It matters. Second, I need volunteers. I need volunteers. LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. I'm not joking. I need volunteers. Several reasons. I need people who can help some events like this, as you did, Karen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I need people to set up events, of course, but I also need you to show up, sign wave, knock on doors, all those things we need. And if you don't live in this area or in New York, no worries. I need social media warriors. The meme wars are real. I need them. The meme wars are real. They are. I need meme warriors. Join SEAL Team Sharpe. Get in the game. Let's fight these meme wars. They matter tremendously. It's free. Take some time. And if you got some originality, you got some memes you can pop up. You got some AI videos. You got all that stuff. Yeah. Would you want something?
We have a comment on that.
Go ahead.
Mike Voss says, I think Stefanik was scared by the Manhattanists who polled. She was in no rush from March until now. Suddenly, she announced that she's putting out memes only after the poll.
Yes, and I think that's true. And here's why. They recognize that in every other poll besides the Manhattan Institute poll, Stefanik is behind Hochul between 15 and 20 points. This is the only one she was not. So there's about 6 or 8 polls. All the polls before that, she's 15 to 20 points behind. That's where she actually is. That's where she actually is. Manhattan Institute is an arm of the Republican Party. For those who don't know, it is an arm of the Republican Party. I don't care if you hear me say Manhattan Institute, you know you are. I know because they've come to me because they say they're libertarian. They're not. They say they are. And I've come to them and said, hey, will you help me? And they said, become a Republican. I'm not joking. So yeah, they're on the Republican Party. But when they put that poll out, as I mentioned, Kathy Hochul and Lee Stefanik, and they didn't do that, and then undecided. And if you care about that, you want a marketing piece, you only do that. You do your 2 undecided. They didn't do that. Those 2, other undecided. When they saw that I came in at 9%, that scared Stefanik. Because Stefanik's people know, and the New York GOP knows that they got a shot at coming in 3rd this year. They got a shot at coming in 3rd this year. And that will devastate them. Their grift is over. They can't raise money anymore. And we become Utah or Nebraska. Why do I say that? Utah is 4-1 Republican and Democrat. Nebraska is about 3-1 Republican and Democrat. When it comes to statewide elections, Democrats don't run candidates anymore in those states. I'm not joking. For U.S. Senate, they can't.
No, we just had an election in this county.
Yep.
There were 2 Democrats running for, one for sheriff and one for something else.
Yep.
Everything, like everybody else was running unopposed.
Yeah, unopposed. Yes, unopposed. That's the norm. They want that. That's the goal of this. That's the goal. Where I am, in Mamdani's my assemblyman. I live in the belly of the beast, right? AOC's my congressperson. Mamdani's my assemblyman. Mamdani runs unopposed. He wins 99 to 1. 1% is write-ins. He wins 99 to 1. These are numbers that Stalin would be jealous of. Stalin and Mao would be like, damn, you get those numbers. I want those numbers. 99 to 1 is how he wins with write-ins. You are correct. It's absolutely true. Now, right now, for U.S. Senate, meaning going to D.C., U.S. Senate, Nebraska Democrats did not run a candidate. Utah Democrats did not run a candidate. They gave up the Senate, didn't run a candidate. New York State is 2 to 3 cycles away from Republicans no longer running statewide candidates. I'm not joking. They're 2 or 3 cycles away before they can't run any candidates. Why bother? They can't raise their money. They can't raise their money. Why would you? No chance. You can't win. Nothing. This is becoming a one-party state. They made it a 2-party state so they can make it a 1-party state. For those of you who remember, in 2018, when I ran and I was able to get ballot access to the Libertarian Party, the next year we had 107 victories across this state. They were all local. Thank you. They were local. But that was building out the groundswell that we wanted to build out. They then saw that. And then Cuomo said, we must stop that. And he changed the rules to destroy my party. That's what he did. Now, he said it was for the working parties. Remember that? It's to get rid of the working parties family, he said. Working families party still exists. Didn't go away. It's a puppet party for Democrats. Always supports Democrats. Always does every single time. It's a puppet party. So they're still good, but I'm gone. That was meant to get rid of me, and sadly it worked. But I'm still back. We're trying again. If we're able to make this happen, we will have a real independent candidate in the election next year and have a real independent party the year after that, and we can build out a groundswell. What does that mean? Single issue coalitions to make change locally. People who can now run on a party that isn't left or right. That's just whatever they want to move forward. We can see things change in this state, even if we just get ballot access. This is an important time. This is the year of independent. We have to make this happen. Guys, I'm going to say thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I am now, I'm sorry, I didn't do the most important thing. If you guys want shirts, they're here. Please grab some if you like. If you want to donate, please donate. They are free, but if you want to donate, we love to have donations. For those of you online, I said I needed money too. I do. Head over to LarrySharpe.com/donate. If you are not in New York, please give up to $9,000. Yes, that's the max, but I'll take like $5. It's fine. $5 is fine. It's fine. But whatever you can give, it's great. But if you're in New York, it's very specific. I need you to give anywhere between $5 and $250. Any amount in between there is the right number. $10 is good. $250 is good. Anywhere in between. Why? Because how the convoluted, broken laws in New York State are, that's what they will match. Matching funds is between $5 and $250. So if you live in New York State, please head over to LarrySharpe.com/donate and please give any number between $5 and $250. That's what they will match. Please give that amount anywhere in that you can afford. Please do so. If I get 5,000 people to give me $500,000, I get $3 million. I win this state. The entire country has changed. Literally, the entire country has changed. Now, if you say, Larry, I'd love to give you $100. I don't have $100. Can you give me $10 a month? I'm asking you to give me monthly for 1 year. Why 1 year? A year from now, election. Please give me every month for 1 year. Why? Because I'm giving you a year. I'm giving you a year of campaigning. You're seeing me out here all the time. I'm giving you a year of campaigning. Give me a year of donations. Once a month for 1 year, whatever you can swing. I hope you're all in great place where you can give me $1,000 a month. I hope you're all wealthy and super wealthy. That'd be amazing. But I bet most of you aren't. That's okay. $5 or $10, $25, all good. Whatever you can swing. Monthly donations allows the campaign to know what we're going to make in the next month. It helps us to plan, makes everything better. So please give to the best of your ability. Again, thank you all so much. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. Thank you again. Yes. I will now take questions and comments if anybody has any questions or comments. Anybody? Please.
Actually, I want to add something to what I said earlier. Is
Please.
With the help of the local Libertarian Party, we were able to raise enough awareness as to what that local politician was doing. He was voted out of office with his deputy supervisor. They were both 20-plus year politicians. It was a one-party type thing. Also, with the help of our friends at the local Libertarian committee, they scrapped the entire town code.
Wow.
Because of how restrictive it was, and they're starting over with a citizen-led committee that's rebuilding the town code and putting it back.
So to be clear, an independent party made actual change in your life. Yes. Thank you. Literally what I'm saying. Thank you so much. Excellent. Thank you for that, my friend. Any other questions or comments? Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, you did it all. Yes. It was all you. True. All you. Thank you. Yes. Any other questions or comments? Please.
The state, I've seen the state just keep growing and growing with more state employees.
More state employees, true. Yep.
But there's also subcontractors.
Subcontractors too.
So I think that's the thing with politicians. I want to hear, I love what you said.
Mhm.
To be honest, I didn't hear about you until I happened to run across it on Facebook.
I love it. Facebook. Thank you. Yes.
You know, and my husband and I debate. I think he would have enjoyed this. He's not social.
That's okay. You can tell him what happened and hopefully he'll watch online. There we go. Okay.
But the thing is,
So your question is, how do we deal with those issues? The employees. Yeah.
Subcontractors.
Yep.
And I'm not saying get rid of them.
No, I'm not either.
But
I will explain 2 ways we do that. Number one, I mentioned earlier the idea of when you can actually give money directly to nonprofits, right? But what I said was non-government funded nonprofits. What government funded nonprofits actually are government agencies that are not unionized because they get money from the government anyway, and they all have strings attached. So they're government agencies that are not unionized. What I'm saying is ignore them. Instead, create those local ones. If you create local ones, there's no government strings attached, which means no special contractors, no government employees. It's actually the private sector. So that's number one. But number two, the government should stop building things. I'm not joking. Stop building things. What the government should do is lease out land for things to be built. Whole different way. And I'll give you an example. New York City wanted to build a 2nd Avenue line. It took 15 years. I'm not joking. Way over budget, 3 times the budget. What should they have done? Lease that area out to a private company and say, go build. That's it. Lease it out. When you lease it out, what happens? The government makes money. It makes money because you're leasing the land out. So the government makes money and the private company comes in and builds. No need for employees, no need for private contractors. They're now private contractors, not government contractors. Why does it matter? Let me explain why. She's exactly correct. Here's why it matters. Yeah, but not just that. Oh no, that the building could stay the same. But hold on, prevailing rate, even if you kept it, let me explain why it matters. I wouldn't even touch that. Let the private company deal with that. I wouldn't even touch it. Let them deal with it. Well, they may have to, depending on the negotiations they make. No, my point is they may negotiate effectively with unions. They may have to. I don't care is my point. I don't mind. I'll let private company deal with that how they want to. They may choose to pay prevailing rate to deal with unions. Not my issue. I'm not building stuff, right? I don't care. They can pay what they need to pay, how they should pay with it, negotiate with unions as they see fit. I'm not anti-union. What I'm anti is this. If the government builds it and it's supposed to be 1 year and cost $5 billion, anything goes wrong, what happens? They stop. They stop working. Stop, slow down, end it, whatever. Now it's going to go 2 years. What happens? We pay them more. We just keep paying them. We never stop paying them. So now it goes over, but we have to keep paying them. The punishment for failure is more money. The punishment for failure is more work. Of course, keep going. Prevailing wage or not prevailing wage, we're paying 2, 3, 4 times what it costs every single time. Repeat that. Not sometimes. Every single time. But if instead I say, hey, private company, build this thing. Well, you say, well, we don't want to work. The private company sues you or doesn't pay. You get punished for failure. The actual amount of money you say can't magically change after a year. It happens in government every, to your point, single time. So I do the lowest bid, knowing that a year later, I'm just not going to do it. And when I don't do it, they've got to pay me anyway. That happens one more time every single time. This is your point. I know exactly. If we instead just said private company build it, they will negotiate as they see fit. It'll get done on time. If it's a problem, the courts will fight, whatever the case may be. It will get built. Who pays the price when they screw up? We do. This is why our budget is so bloated. We do. We decide we have to have 17 people watch one guy shovel. You know what I'm talking about. We decide we have to have 17 people watch one guy shovel. Private companies don't do that shit. Why would they? That's why we pay them. I mean, those employees. They'll do the right thing as they see fit. We make those two changes, everything shifts. It's a mindset. To you and I were talking earlier, it's a cultural change. Government, now you might say, well, why would government do that? That doesn't make any sense, Larry. What you said makes a lot of sense. Why doesn't a governor or a mayor or whatever do that? Because if they do what I said, they are not responsible for giving out jobs. One of the things Kathy Hochul's very good at is giving out jobs. She's very good at that. Yeah, you said, you know what? One of her skill sets. That's how people owe her money. Remember she said, remember this? She cares about black kids. She's going to teach them how to swim. Remember that? You remember? That was literally in her State of the State. Yes. She cares about black kids and how to swim. She said that. Yeah. Because she cares about black kids? No, she doesn't. She also said black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is. She said that too. So her thought of black people was obvious there. But besides the point, why did she say that? Because she has friends who construct swimming pools. So she can say that it's because she loves black kids and then take government money and give it to her friends to build swimming pools, right? In public swimming pools. As they build more swimming pools and make money, she gets that net to, not a kickback, but she gets money donated. There we go, rebate. She gets money donated to her by those people. As she gives out jobs and government funds, that's how she has patronage and they keep filling her coffers. That's how that works. That's why they do it. It's not because they're dumb. It's because the system works for them. What I'm saying is I don't require those kickbacks. I require you guys to back me. So I don't require the kickbacks. And then it doesn't matter. And I can have the private companies just work and do it. And we all save money. They do it because it keeps them in power. Why do you think she wants to build the Buffalo Stadium? Because her friends are contractors. Yes, I'm not joking. She's giving out jobs. Husband also gets concessions. True. She's giving out jobs. That's why they do it. They give out jobs. Think about this. You know, every single player in NFL is a millionaire. Every single owner is a billionaire. They can't raise money. Come on. Banks love giving money to billionaires. Oh my God, they love it. And most stadiums are actually self-financed. Most are. So you could self-finance it. She won't. She can't give out jobs. That's why that works. So you are totally correct. I'm glad you brought that up. You're right. I understand it. And there are ways to get around that. Thank you for that. Go ahead.
We got to wrap this. We have one more question online, though. Actually, there's a lot of comments from Oddsman.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with him. He wants to know about Dexter Taylor, if you would free him as governor and what you do about the judge that.
So let me deal with some of you may or may not know who Dexter Taylor is. Dexter Taylor is a Brooklyn gentleman who is an engineer by trade. He wanted to decide if he wanted to be a gunsmith or not. So he decided to go check it out. So he purchased gun parts legally online with a credit card. I want to be very clear. Legally online with a credit card. Hiding nothing, all open, all legal. And he was putting together guns to see if he wanted to become a gunsmith to change his trade. Somehow, someone in his building snitched on him. The cops kicked in the door. This guy has no criminal record. None. No criminal record. No ammunition, didn't sell a gun, didn't use a gun, was simply putting parts together. They came in, kicked in his door, grabbed all his stuff, put him in jail, sentenced him with all these new Kathy Hochul ghost gun rules. The ghost guns, right? Making guns, illegal guns, illegaler. One of the things she does very well, making illegal things more illegal. Did that. He went to court. And in the court, the judge literally said, the Second Amendment does not exist in my courtroom. This is a judge in New York State who said the Bill of Rights does not exist in my courtroom. Her punishment was nothing. Nothing. She said it openly, right to the jury. Doesn't exist in my courtroom. She said those words. I'm not making this up. You can check yourself. She said that. Doesn't exist. As I was teasing you earlier when I said New York State, the Bill of Rights is the Bill of Suggestions, I wasn't kidding. In New York State, the Bill of Rights is the Bill of Suggestions. That's all it is. So what happened? 8 years. He has a teenage daughter. And by the way, she loves black people so much, he's black. Because Hochul loves black people so much. Did she pardon him? No. Did she punish the judge? No. When I'm governor, I will pardon him and I will sanction her so badly she will want to quit. Yes. Supposedly that judge took an oath to the Constitution. If you took an oath to the Constitution, how can you say the Bill of Rights does not exist in your courtroom? She is unfit to be a judge and needs to go away. And she should be a symbol for everyone else. Dexter Taylor should be freed. I will pardon him, and I will punish that judge to the absolute maximum of the law that I possibly can punish her. I will punish her to the best of my ability. Yes. So with that in mind, I want to bring up one more thing if I could. Some of you know that I'm also trying to get on the We the People Party line. We the People Party is the line that RFK Jr. was looking to get on when he tried to get on. One of the things that the We the People Party absolutely overlaps with the Libertarian Party is medical freedom. 100% overlap. The lockdowns crushed this state. It changed the culture of New York City. New York City used to be a city that never sleeps. It now sleeps. And it happened from the lockdowns. The lockdowns crushed businesses. The lockdowns crushed families. The lockdowns destroyed small businesses that will never come back. It was devastating. We need to have a constitutional amendment to the New York State Constitution that says no matter what, no lockdowns, no matter what. We have to have that to happen in this state. Have to. Lockdowns are so, they're against every single part of the First Amendment. People think of the First Amendment, they think is freedom of speech. True. Also freedom of religion, freedom to assemble, freedom of the press, freedom to petition our government. Lockdowns wreck all of that. Lockdowns are a blatant attack on the First Amendment. And I don't remember the First Amendment saying you get all these rights unless I'm scared. I don't remember that part. There's no unless I'm scared there. That has to stop. And it must be a constitutional amendment. If it isn't, what will happen is the governor will go, well, emergency, so I can ignore laws. It has to be in the New York State Constitution, backed by the First Amendment, or it will not be valuable. I will push for that the second I'm governor. So that's the First and Second Amendment I support, not just the second. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.